This is the Ghoul's Guide to Santa Barbara. Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Darn it, let's go back to the other one that I knew.
Is it Dr. Strangelove?
Yes.
Hey.
And I did not look up anything about that movie.
Oh, okay.
So.
Or the time...
do you want me to do one that
I stopped worrying and learned to love the bomb? Something like that?
Do you want me to do one that I do know stuff about? No. I don't want to know stuff about any of them.
I just remember watching that like in my first film class at UCSB.
Oh, yeah?
That's all I remember.
Yeah. Peter Sellers.
Yeah. Did Stanley Kubrick make that?
Don't know. Don't know anything about it.
Alexa. Who was it? No, just kidding. I haven't seen it.
There you go.
I haven't seen it since the late 90s.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Well, this is the Ghoul's Guide to Santa Barbara. And I'm Liz.
I'm Jen. I forgot that I had to say... Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys.
We forgot how to do this.
I want to start that part again.
This is the Ghoul's Guide to Santa Barbara. I'm Liz.
I'm Jen.
I'm Summers.
And on today's episode, Jen is going to tell us about the Ojai vampire.
I am.
Yay!
So today we're taking a little road trip, and we are actually leaving the city of Santa Barbara and the county of Santa Barbara to the adjacent Ojai. Ojai is located in Ventura County, California, in the picturesque Ojai Valley. It's northeast of Ventura, approximately 33 miles from Santa Barbara. And it's home to many celebs and that vampires. Are often a bit more... What?
And vampires.
And vampires.
And Dave England from Jackass.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. I was going to say it's home to many celebs that are often more quote unquote woo or reclusive. So Ojai tends to like pull in the kind of
the crunchy hippies.
I saw Mary Steenburgen there once.
Yes. Mary Steenburgen and Ted Danson.
She's beautiful.
She is. Yeah. I mean, both of them are just gems of humans.
But like, you see people on TV or whatever, and then when you see them in person, sometimes it's like, oh, okay, they're just like a normal person. Like, she is beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, that's always like those stars without makeup. And it's like, they're
just people.
Beautiful people. I mean, yeah, people are people. Also, Rodney Mullen is a resident.
Yeah.
And Johnny Cash lived there and owned a strip mall.
Did he?
With Sheb Woolley, the guy who did One-Eyed One-Horn Flying Purple People Eater.
I thought you were going to say he did Wooly Bully.
No.
Wasn't Johnny Cash from like Casitas Pass or something?
No, it's
that little town on the way up, right?
Casitas. No, wait.
Springs.
Oakview?
Something.
No, I made that up.
No, Oakview is also one of those little.
Yeah, but there's like a sign that's like home of Johnny Cash when you drive up the 33.
Casitas Springs.
Oh,
there
okay.
It is. Found it in my brain.
Got it.
Ojai's known for its natural beauty and tranquil environment. Ojai offers a unique blend of boutique hotels, recreational activities, and a thriving farmers market that showcases local organic agriculture.
And excellent restaurant Bacalli's.
Yes.
Oh,
Liz
yeah.
goes there every Mother's Day.
In there.
Yeah.
The city prides itself on fostering its small businesses that specialize in local, ecologically friendly art, design, and home improvement. In order to support their local businesses and preserve the town's distinctive character, chain stores are prohibited by city ordinance.
Oh, that makes sense.
There is like it's funny because Lake Casitas is right up there, and we camp there, and there's like one Vaughn's, but it's like outside. It's probably outside the city limit, but it's like between Ojai and Lake Casitas.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And well, there's like Starbucks and McDonald's like kind of right across the street from that.
Yeah, that's closer. That's in the Oakview area, so they're probably outside Ojai proper.
I never really thought about that, but
it has an enjoyable
sense.
skate park.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
It does have a cute little skate park. The name Ojai is derived from the Chumash word Ahway,
meaning
moon, and the city has acquired the self-appointed nickname of Shangri-La due to its health and spirituality-focused atmosphere.
I've never heard that one. Interesting.
Yeah. So this particular story takes place in the late 19th century, around 1890. In those days, Ojai was a close-knit community where everyone knew their neighbors. It was a place where the main street bustled with activity and the local farmers worked tirelessly to make a living. You're looking at me like my dates were wrong.
No.
Oh,
I was just leaning my head away from my mic.
to not breathe into your microphone like I was doing. Now you could tell now I'm very paranoid about like, did I say late 19th century? And it was actually, but I think that was.
No,
I
that's
think
correct.
you're right. I
1890s.
definitely
You're
had to
correct.
think about it, though.
Me too. That's maybe what I was thinking about. Or had just finished thinking like, no, she's right.
Life was simple and seemingly uneventful in Ojai until whispers began to circulate among the townspeople. So I could not find any resources that confirm any of what I'm about to tell you. So
Okay.
this may all be filed under the quote-unquote urban legend category.
Sure.
However, I think there's a lesson to be learned here, so I'm going to tell it
Cool.
based on all of the lore I could dig up.
Cool.
Bring it on.
It started innocently enough with small incidents that went unnoticed at first. Some farm animals went missing. Others were discovered with strange marks on their bodies.
Amazing.
Cattle on nearby ranches were found mutilated in
Ooh.
gruesome fashion.
This sounds like alien stuff.
Was there exsanguination?
I don't know. I'd have to
Oh.
look it up.
It's a
Is that when they get like sucked dry?
yes from the X-Files.
Yes. At first,
Vernacular.
people dismissed it as the work of wild animals or a result of unfortunate accidents. He tripped and fell and was exsanguinated. But as the incidents increased in frequency and severity, a sense of unease settled upon the town. Rumors soon emerged about a mysterious foreign resident who had recently arrived in town from Europe.
Just all of Europe.
Yep. Just generally Europe. He was tall and gaunt and pale.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he's European, so, right?
Right?
With a countenance that resembled that of a decaying corpse.
gosh. This poor guy.
What does countenance mean? Face?
Yeah, I
Like
think
his
so.
general appearance. He kept to himself, living on the outskirts of Ojai near Creek Road. It was said that his dwelling was an old weathered house with an air of morbidity that sent shudders down the spines of those who passed by. Sorry, I wrote this at like midnight last night. So.
Countenance means face.
This poor guy just like moves to town and wants to be left alone.
Exactly. I'm so glad that you guys are reading in the same thing that when I read all these stories. I was like, this poor dude.
I know.
It's just
He's
like maybe things were tough in all of Europe where he came from. And he was like, you know what? I'm just going to move to this sweet little town of Ojai. My life will be so good there.
I'm so sick of wearing makeup to work.
Right? I need some sun. I'm going to move to sunny Southern California and have a great life. It's going to be amazing.
Growing up pale though in a beach town, I had such a complex about how pale I am. And like, I
At
feel
least
really bad for him. No one told me that I was killing farm animals and draining them of their blood.
Villagers didn't refer to you as the Santa Barbara vampire.
Not that I know of.
As fear and suspicion gripped the community, the foreign resident became the scapegoat for the mysterious happenings.
Oh no.
The townspeople, lacking broader perspectives and fueled by superstition, quickly branded him the Ojai vampire.
Oh my gosh.
Dicks.
Poor guy. Did they call it to his face?
He probably like just didn't come around like
I know.
so that just made him more, you know.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He's just an antisocial,
He just wanted-
pale guy.
Wanted to make friends.
I know, right? They believed he was an embodiment of their fears, a creature of the night that feasted on the innocent.
Wow.
In their quest for justice and a sense of security, a group of Ojai residents banded together, united by a common fear and a desire to eradicate the supposed vampire. They armed themselves with crosses, torches, and vials of holy water.
What?
Relics of their faith that they hoped would provide protection against the evil they believed resided within Creek Road. One fateful evening, They ventured to the foreign resident's house.
Oh, no.
Their weapons clutched tightly in trembling hands. As they approached, they were met with a formidable obstacle, a large black dog, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly intensity. This was no ordinary dog. Legend tells of its loyalty to the vampire, acting as his guardian and protector. Maybe it was just a sweet little black lab. Maybe it was a hellhound. We'll never know. Undeterred, the brave townsfolk, aka angry mob, their courage bolstered by their shared mission, confronted the ferocious beast. They brandished their crosses and chanted prayers, which caused the dog to retreat. I remember this particularly, that one of the stories that I read or resources that I used was like they like held their crosses up, and then the dog had to go away, albeit reluctantly. And I was like, he was like, well, you brought crosses, so I guess I'm okay, bye.
Maybe he thought they were going to throw it and they were playing fetch.
Right? With the path cleared, they advanced toward the quote-unquote vampire's home, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and anticipation. Once inside, they discovered a chilling sight, a stone sarcophagus.
Oh, gosh.
Its surface etched with cryptic symbols and adorned with eerie inscriptions. It was said to be the resting place of the vampire during daylight hours, a sanctuary that kept him hidden from the prying eyes of the world. Side note, Wikipedia told me that the word sarcophagus comes from the Greek sarx, meaning flesh, and phagin, meaning to eat.
Ew.
Hence, the word sarcophagus means flesh eating.
Ew.
From the phrase lithos sarcophagos, which means flesh eating stone.
Interesting.
So the word also came to refer to a particular kind of limestone that they were made of, that was thought to rapidly facilitate the decomposition of the flesh of corpses contained within.
Like quicklime.
Yeah, due to the chemical properties of the limestone
What
itself.
What is our reasonable explanation for them saying there was a sarcophagus inside his house?
So
Yeah,
that says, so my next paragraph is, of course, the angry mob freaked out about this sarcophagus because it fits with the legends and proves their point, but also maybe it was just a family heirloom or something he had on the property because his family had social status back home, which they might have known if anyone had bothered getting to know him. But my research also mentioned that these types of above ground memorials had sort of a renaissance in America in the later 19th century. So maybe this dude was just ahead of the time.
Oh, so it was outside. It wasn't in the house?
I don't know.
There's one at Hearst Castle.
Is that really?
Yeah.
With a
Like
body in it?
No,
Oh.
it's just like, you know,
Just a stone
they'd
thing?
be like, hey, these sacred grave ornaments, let's put them in our house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah, a couple, like I heard that that they went inside and found it. I also heard that it was outside. So
Okay.
I don't know. Like I said, this could all be made up.
Sure.
I didn't fact check a lot. Anyway,
You didn't interview the
That's
witnesses?
okay. It's
I don't-
folklore.
Exactly.
It counts.
the townspeople gathered around the sarcophagus, their breaths held as they prepared to face the evil that lay within. With quivering hands, they opened the lid, revealing a sight that would forever haunt their memories. God, I really went all in at midnight. Inside nestled the sleeping body of the man, his pallor matching the bleached stone surrounding him. They then plunged a stake they had fashioned from sacred wood through his heart. Poor
Sacred
dude
wood.
was like just
No.
trying to take a nap.
In his coffin?
I
Well,
know.
Look, I recently have developed, not recently, but I hate when it's light and I'm trying to sleep. Like it just is so painful. And like a sarcophagus sounds really nice.
I know. I sleep with a mask on.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, if I could just
Yeah.
put myself in a tomb to sleep.
Right? With some air holes. I'd do it.
Well, also another thing said that it had like a window, like where you could view like where. So like, I don't know, but I tried to research like because that one of the things that I read was like, but this was also common in quote unquote Europe.
When did hyperbaric chambers?
I know, right? Maybe
Around.
that's what it was. Maybe this was the 1980s and someone just flipped the instead of the 1890s. But yeah, also it was like, yeah, so if you know, because people go out looking for this sarcophagus, I guess.
Oh, funny.
And they're like, and so if you see a sarcophagus with, I cannot say that word today. You know, with like a window in it. But then also I was thinking, like, if you're a vampire and you sleep in there during the day, a window is a really bad choice.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so moving on. A collective sigh of relief echoed through the mob as they celebrated the success of their mission, aka murder.
Gosh.
They had rid Ojai of the dreaded vampire, or, you know, maybe just murdered a foreigner in his sleep.
It's a good excuse. It's a good, like, oh no, it's fine. He was a vampire.
Yeah.
He was draining cows.
But little did they know their actions would not bring an end to their saga.
Shocking.
From that day forward, the town of Ojai became marked by the dark chapter in its history. Strange events continued, as if the entire valley had been tainted by the presence of the vampire, or their terrible actions towards him. Camp Comfort County Park, previously a place of solace and tranquility, became the epicenter of unsettling occurrences. Visitors reported seeing unexplained lights flickering in the darkness, hearing eerie sounds that seemed to emanate from nowhere, and feeling an inexplicable sense of dread. Some even claimed to have encountered spectral figures, their pallid faces resembling that of the alleged vampire who had haunted Ojai in years past. The Hellhound seems to also still roam the valley, and stories continue about sightings of this giant black beast, along with the reports of his haunting howls echoing in the stillness. As generations came and went, the legend of the Ojai vampire persisted. It became part of the town's folklore, a warning to future inhabitants about the dangers of fear and prejudice. The tale serves as a reminder that dark forces can reside within the hearts of individuals, warping their perceptions and leading to tragic consequences.
Well, I'm glad to hear they recognized that maybe it was a poor choice and
Yeah.
not like just celebrated this
Right.
mob.
I don't know. I might have put a little more of that in than there actually exists.
Let's give them some credit.
Yeah.
To this day, Ojai remains a haven of beauty and tranquility, but in the depths of its history lies the chilling memory of the Ojai vampire. Residents and visitors alike still speak of the long ago events and the lingering presence that continues to weave its way through the fabric of the town. So should you ever find yourself wandering the streets of Ojai on a moonlit night, be aware. The shadows may hold secrets, and the echoes of the past may whisper tales of the Ojai vampire, a reminder of the dark side of human nature and the legends that persist through the ages.
Nice.
It's pretty quiet up there at night, it seems.
Yeah.
Like once it,
I
the little
well,
downtown Ojai.
The vampires are probably just hanging out at home, doing
Yeah.
things like knitting and things vampires do,
All the little shops close.
doing their dark bidding on the internet webs.
Yeah. Man, Ojai just reminds me of patchouli.
Yeah,
I like Ojai, but
I do too.
I do. So, one thing in my quote unquote research for this,
you researched it.
I
It's just
made
Go ahead.
go watch a terrible movie with me.
Uh-huh.
Apologies to the men that made this movie. So I was like, when I was Googling Ojai Vampire, it was like, oh, this movie, Charman.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
So Charman is another
I didn't know there was a
Ojai
movie.
urban legend. But this movie, so it's like a low budget movie. And so the premise of the movie is that these guys go to Ojai to make a fake documentary about the Ojai vampire.
Okay.
But in talking to people, like in trying to get people in Ojai to like tell them about the Ojai vampire, they learn of this other urban legend, and then they like trigger this guy to come and haunt them. And it's like oh gosh, it's the movie I can only describe as like an episode of Reno 911 meets the Blair Witch Project.
Amazing.
Sounds
That sounds
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
It's just like 90% of the movie is just these dudes like trying to be funny and being kind of awkward, and like it's sort of like a documentary, like a fake documentary, sort of like The Office or any of those type shows, Wellington Paranormal. And then like the last 5 minutes are like all this stuff goes down and there's like running through forests and like, but then it's like there's also like one of the main scary parts of it is just like kids wearing those weird masks standing outside and like someone being outside the window wearing one of those masks. And I was like, wait, no, this is already a thing in a different movie. What is it? The Strangers?
Oh,
is
yeah.
it?
Yep.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't. It's scary. So weird. So yeah, it gave like no real information about the Ojai vampire other than like that's what they went to go make a like it's so weird. I was like, so it's a found footage horror movie kind of / comedy about dudes filmmakers going to make a fake documentary who then end up being traumatized
sounds. Where can I watch it?
It's available to rent on Amazon Prime.
Then I'll never see it.
It's on like some of those like Tubi or I don't know. Just Google it. Okay. You can find it.
I'll Google it. Thanks.
Yeah.
I love a good bad movie.
And it's like an hour and 15 minutes. So yeah.
Nice.
We got interrupted a bunch of times, so it felt much longer, but
awesome.
I love that. I love hearing all the like untraceable, unhistorically researchable stories from different towns. They make me really happy.
I know. I tried to like find, like I was like, oh, so yeah, it's one of those like things that people go looking for now.
Yeah.
And like people will try to figure out like, oh, well, if it was on Creek Road and it was like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but I mean, if these things are things that you could, like you could actually find out if someone was immigrated
murdered by an angry mob.
Yeah, exactly. Like there should be record of there should be one thing that you could verify
point
at least.
To, yeah.
Like, and I do like that. I mean, we were doing this casually this week with a different kind of urban legend type story, but I love when it's like, oh well, actually this thing was kind of in the like, so maybe it wasn't across the street on the left, but actually if you interpret it this way, it could be across the street on the right, kind of thing. Like maybe that just was lost in the game of telephone over the next 100 years.
Right. I like that.
Yeah. So, but I don't know, maybe I didn't go deep enough, but I couldn't really verify any of this stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting though.
Yeah. And I mean, like, okay, I don't think any of it happened, but if it did and they murdered someone and then kind of hid that fact, like hopefully they were decent about obscuring evidence and there isn't much of a record, like
right.
Yeah, I mean at best, I don't know. At best, at worst, it's a terrible story of xenophobia.
Yeah.
Where a foreigner moves in and people basically come up with an excuse to go murder him.
Right.
So.
Well
thanks, Jen.
Yeah.
That's fun to hear more because I've heard mention of that. The Ojai vampire. We should do an episode about Charman too and learn more about that.
I thought about, at first I was like, is there enough here to do a whole episode? And I thought about just like using the same sort of premise as the movie of like, while I was researching this story, I found out about this one. But Charman seems to be similar where there was no actual historical information available. So
gotcha.
Just another urban legend, it seems.
Our local
lore.
Yeah. That's cool though. Thanks for sharing the story.
Yay. Just a little change of pace for today.
I like it. Do we have a question for the Magic 8 Ball today?
I mean, this one seems like one we could ask him, like, did they murder a guy that they thought that they suspected of a vampire?
Okay, is that our question?
Yeah.
Did it really happen?
Did this really happen? This murder of this poor
Like
guy that just wanted to be left alone?
Right.
Oh, come on. Most likely.
Nice. Okay.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Ojai had a vampire.
Yep. And he got murdered. Oh, poor guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it for this one.
Yay. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.
Hi, Mom.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Ghoul's Guide to Santa Barbara. Like and subscribe on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Ghoul's Guide to SB.
Our website is ghoulsguidetosb.com. Got a spooky story or know of a haunted or paranormal location in Santa Barbara? Send it to us at ghoulsguidetosb@gmail.com.